Welcome back to Media Madness, the show where we expose the corporate press for all their lying, corruption, and insanity. I'm Rob McGreevy with the Daily Caller. Today we're going to be watching Bill Maher eviscerate Hollywood has-been Sean Penn for refusing to meet with President Trump despite being willing to, and often meeting with authoritarian dictators throughout the world. Without further ado, let's get into it.
I have not been invited. The only reason I would not accept an invitation is because I see no, it's a long flight. And I see no,
Really? You'll meet with fucking
I don't think that I
Castro
would-
and Hugo Chavez, but not the President of the United States?
Yeah,
Hugo Chavez. Sean Penn called him a friend, former Venezuelan dictator. He flew to his funeral in 2013. Just hours before he flew to that funeral, Human Rights Watch released a news release calling Chavez an authoritarian, reflecting on his authoritarian legacy, which they characterized by, quote, a dramatic concentration of power and open disregard for basic human rights. So that's who Sean Penn considers his friends, and yet he won't meet with President Trump.
I saw good results come out of some of those things in terms of
You do realize
agendas that
the
I had. I don't think that there's anything that I would. I just personally wouldn't trust anything that was said in the room.
Wouldn't trust anything said in the room with President Trump. Does trust, checks notes. Venezuelan dictator Hugo Chavez and Fidel Castro. Good to know.
Including the personality.
It's not a matter of trusting it. It's a matter of seeing it, matter of experiencing, matter of knowing it.
Yeah, it's an
More
interesting-
knowledge. It's like saying, I don't want this medical test because I don't want to know. I
I'm
want to
guilty
know.
of that.
Yeah,
I do
I
that all
wanna-
the time.
Okay.
Fair
So,
enough.
yeah. I mean,
I have some good friends that are on.
I said this many times
Work
within the
closely.
piece when I did it, that like it's up to, I'm just giving you the report. It's up to you to make the decision. Who do you think is the real guy? I'm telling you, there's a very different guy behind closed doors in a different setting. Now,
or
capable
of performatively
Yes.
seeing that. Yeah.
Well, one of the my
Now,
my friend.
the idea that Trump is performatively putting on this personality for Bill Maher, where he's charming and schmoozing him over, that's not beyond the pale. But the idea that that's why Sean Penn wouldn't meet with President Trump, but Fidel Castro and Hugo Chavez, who controlled their entire state's media, their citizens' very perception of the entire world. These guys weren't putting on a show for Sean and weren't being somebody else for him. Maybe he's so smart that he understands who they are and who they're not, and President Trump is different for some reason. I'd love to hear him explain that a little bit more. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get that.
Friends who believe in astrology would say he's a Gemini. Of course, there's two of them. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Other people will say, well, the real guy is the guy you met, and he's playing this clown on TV. And other people will say the reverse. It seems harder to do the reverse. I mean, can you really pretend to be sane? You can pretend to be insane. I think it's harder to pretend to be sane, to be measured, and like all the things I said, which is just what happened.
Mhm.
So again, there's three parts of this. Would you go to the dinner? I think you're crazy not to want to see up close the person who's this important in everybody's lives for the last decade.
I
Two, are you
completely
going?
understand that.
Two, are you going to lie about it? I'm sorry, I'm not a liar. I don't lie, so I told the truth. And then three, do I go back to doing what I always did? Yes, I did.
Yeah, but you could have told more truth, or you could have told less truth.
I told
I'm
a
just
lot of
saying,
truth. I
I
told
would-
Could have told less. Sean Penn wanted him to lie more about his Trump meeting. I don't understand. Sean, have you been lying to us about your meetings? Weird.
everything.
I would have enjoyed a little more brevity on that, but I absolutely understand that.
We
There's
would all
just
enjoy more
emotional.
brevity from Bill Maher.
You were
let's be
just
honest.
triggered.
It's possible. It's possible. It's true that.
But I
For
would
some
like to.
reason, this particular president triggers me rather often.
Exactly. He makes people crazy, but he's not making me crazy.
I mean, that's Trump derangement syndrome in a nutshell. Well, everything you're saying, you're putting forth good reasons, reasonable arguments, common sense, but I'm triggered. I actually kind of respect Sean Penn for admitting it, because a lot of liberals don't. But yeah, very clearly, Bill Maher gets to the crux of it. You're triggered. Trump has broken your brain, and you can no longer see reason.
But so you really wouldn't go?
No, I don't. I'm not saying I
You
think
should go.
I wouldn't, because let me put it this way: what I know I would not do.
Especially, he's
I
very.
would not go. Let's say, so for example, when we talk about this very different president of Uruguay, um, there were things that Uruguay had models of in development that could be very helpful to Haiti, and I went to see if.
Now, just Haiti. He mentions Haiti there. That is the crown jewel of Sean Penn's activism. Haiti is it. He goes there all the time. He does humanitarian work there. He wants the world to know how important it is that Haiti is his pet project. That's important for later. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
We could get some training from them and so on and so forth, which we did. And whereas if I were, let's say, representing a cause celeb, say it was Ukraine, say it was whatever it was, I would not fool myself that I was going to get anywhere with him. I know that I wouldn't. I know that I would have no influence.
Bad attitude. You don't know that. You don't know anything. He's a guy who frequently seems to go by what the last thing he heard was. He's everything. I'll tell you this about Donald Trump, and you don't know it because you don't go to dinners. It's all about.
I didn't go to dinner with President Trump. That's true.
You should. It's all about personal relationships.
I've not been invited.
Okay, I will get you an invite. He's a star fucker in a way. I bet you he would like to meet you. And you would have a...
Yeah, he'll see the show. He says, if I see him, they're going to call me a star fucker.
I don't think he watches the podcast. He does watch the show. He's a faithful viewer.
He's got people that do his thing. Dan Bongino would be knocking on your door if you didn't go to dinner.
No evidence for that, by the way, that Dan Bongino would be knocking on Bill Maher's door if he didn't go to dinner with Trump. As if Dan Bongino doesn't have better things to do than knock on Bill Maher's door or Sean Penn's door.
That's not why I did it. And it could work out the other way. You don't know. He's very unpredictable.
I mean, I think it's very telling one moment there that Bill Maher said, you don't know anything, when Sean Penn said, oh, if I was advocating for the Ukraine, Trump, there's nothing I could get out of that meeting. Because Kim Kardashian, not a dyed-in-the-wool conservative. As a matter of fact, she's been very critical of the ICE actions in the past couple weeks. Kim Kardashian in 2018 met with Trump, visited the White House to advocate for Alice Marie Johnson, a woman who was serving life, and got her sentence commuted. 2020, she met with President Trump again, advocating for prison reform for people that she believed were wrongfully or unjustly imprisoned or in prison for too long. And again, I believe she successfully managed to get the commutations of, I believe, 3 prisoners from President Trump as a result of that meeting. So you'd think that if you were had some big advocacy that you were a part of, like Sean Penn is in Haiti, you would want the help of the commander-in-chief, the leader of the free world. Let's take a look at how Haiti's doing. You Google Haiti. See, the first story that comes up when you Google Haiti. Haiti, UN human rights chief alarmed by widening violence as gangs expand reach. Scroll down a little bit. 4 years after Haiti's president was killed, the investigation drags on. Haiti is controlled by gangs. They're running amok. The president was murdered 4 years ago. Nobody knows who did it. And this is Sean Penn's crown jewel of his advocacy. Doesn't think it's worth his time meeting with the president. I mean, I think it bears a question. Do you really care about Haiti, Sean Penn, or do you just want to show people, hey, look at my liberal friends in Hollywood. I say bad things about the president on podcasts. I pretend to do advocacy work that doesn't help anyone, apparently. What has the world come to that Bill Maher is the voice of reason for the rest of his Hollywood shitlib friends? It's crazy. Listen, folks, if you like this video, if you appreciate the content we're making, please like it on YouTube. Give it a like, give it a retweet on Twitter if that's where you're seeing it. Subscribe on YouTube. Share with your friends. Text it to them. Email it to them. We're going to be bringing you stuff like this every week, almost every day, here at Media Madness. Subscribe, like, comment, share.